What's going on, guys? This is Jimbo with the Auto Detailing Podcast, and I just wanted to share kind of one of my thoughts going on. And this thought was stemmed from a little interaction I had with Jeremy Stevens with Shine Supply. What's up, Jeremy? Don't even know if you listen, but if you do, I appreciate your ear and for listening. But and if you guys don't follow Jeremy with Shine Supply, dude, he puts out some great Instagram stories like daily on just straight tips on how to detail cars. So I'm sure most of you already follow him, but if you don't, I think it's just at Shine Supply on Instagram. I really enjoy watching his Instagram stories. And this idea or this thought stemmed from one of his Instagram stories where he was talking about interior detailing. And I just want to start pounding the pavement hard on, I know paint correction coatings are sexy. I do them. Jeremy does a ton of them. If you watch his Instagram stories, I feel like that guy's got one every single day. Maybe that's just him framing it nicely on his Instagram story, but he does a lot, it seems like. But on this particular day, he was talking about the importance of knowing how to detail an interior of a car. And so he just had nailed it, right? So I DM'd him, and I'm like, dude, nailed it on this one. Not that he needs my approval at all. I just wanted to encourage him because I know what it's like to get encouragement from other people too. So trust me, Jeremy does not need Jimbo's opinion, right? But I just wanted to. I thought he was spot on, right? And it was kind of like my thumbs just even did it because I agreed so much with what he was saying. I just like swiped up, freaking was like, dude, nailed it, love it, you know. And he wrote back, and he said something even more insightful. And he said, man, Jimbo, if these guys aren't more well-rounded detailers, when the market shifts, they're going to be screwed. And I've been kind of dwelling on that like the past few days of like, gosh, he's so right. Like, and this is why I wanted to record this, because I want to start getting loud about it like Jeremy was. Like, guys, if you are only good about one facet of detailing, you got to diversify. Because even the podcast that I did with Scott with Dallas Paint Correction, he talked about a friend of his that was doing high ticket coating jobs, and the market is getting so saturated with those that it's driving the price down, and that's a problem. And I feel like I just want to start getting loud about that interior work is where it's at a lot of times, especially for regular Joe Schmo customers that may be interested in your service if this market starts to sag. Here in the U.S., the market is extremely good, and in fact, I was just watching a video with Tony Robbins, and he had this new book, Unshakable, and he talked about a bull market and a bear market, and we've been on this high for 8 or 9 years, ever since the 2008 crash, when I started my business, May of 2008. But which is probably why I was a hack when I first started, because I started in a bear market and had to make it work. But anyway, talking about, we're ready for a slight, maybe not even a slight, because Tony Robbins' argument in his book is that there is a slight correction every year, but we're due for a big correction, right? And here's where I'm getting excited. Just like when I started in May of 2008, when it was the heat of the Great Recession, quote unquote, at least here in the U.S., how was I able to grow my business? Well, when the market sags, a lot of people get out of the business. They get out of detailing, they go work at Chase Bank or whatever, and so actually the competition becomes less because the market can't support as many people. Not as many people can make the money that they were making during a great market. So the point is, if you are only doing exteriors or you're only doing high-level stuff, I do want to say this. I do think there's outliers in that certain markets, and it's impossible to know every market. So I feel like it would be really stupid of me to sit on my high horse and say, this is a blanket statement for everyone. I do think there are little niche markets that it works, right? And I think there's markets that I don't even know about. So above what I'm about to say, above that, know your market, right? And know your area. But be diversified. And that's why I've been putting out content like learn how to do emblem removal. Listen to Scott, he's like, I do window tint removal. That's another great service. Vinyl sticker removal, but also interior detailing. What about interior repair, leather repair, carpet dyeing, stuff like that? And start learning those services now while the market is good, right? So then if the market sags, you can capitalize on that. You could capitalize and diversify your services and be a more well-rounded detailer to take advantage of the smaller pot of people that are interested in detailing services during a downtime market. So you could really thrive, and that's what Tony Robbins was saying in that podcast, was that you could actually turn 1 million into 100 million during a recession. You could turn, which who knows how many of us detailers have $1 million to turn into 100 million, but how about $1,000 into 100,000, or 100 into 10,000, or whatever. But it's going to be by diversifying your services, because then you're not as vulnerable. And that's the gist with Jeremy. I think what he was saying, not to speak for him, but what I took away from it and why I was so excited about what he was saying was diversification makes you less vulnerable. So don't let your interior detailing game sag. Don't let any of your detailing game sag, not even your paint correction, because the same could be said. Maybe your market is the paint correction coating. Double down on it. Become the expert, and that's why a lot of these daily detail tips that I've been putting out have been like, hey, document the work that you do, make sure you're taking videos, pictures, blah, 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 because you could use all of those things as tools to market yourself even better, especially during a down market. And honestly, you can thrive during the down market. I did. And honestly, during the down market, when I started, I was able to thrive through things like showing up on time, doing good work at a reasonable rate. Now, and that's what I'm fearful for a little bit, is that my rates may have to sag during that downturn when it comes, or not. I'm kind of interested, and I hate to say it, but I'm kind of interested to see when this downturn comes, because I started during a recession. The worst recession since the Great Depression is when I started my business. But during those downturns, it gives you the ability to take all this information that you've been learning, all the information. People get scared during the down market. But if you know how to capture customers, if you know how to get new leads, if you know how to diversify your services, and you're a more well-rounded detailer, I think, and I strongly think, that you could actually thrive during these times. So while we're in a good market and the money's flowing, begin to diversify your services, document. If you need help with this, of course, reach out to me. I love to help wherever I can. Follow Jeremy. He's doing some really, really cool stuff, and it's entertaining and awesome at the same time. And if you need more tips and tricks on how to capture leads, how to extract more information out of the client to make you a more profitable detailer, the thing I'm most passionate about, the Detailer Inner Circle, detailerinnercircle.com. And I also do 2 additional Q&A podcasts a month that don't go out to the general public, just to my inner circle. Hope you guys will check it out, detailerinnercircle.com.